You stand before a horse. The wind caresses its coat as if time itself were breathing. Its eyes are deep, silent, almost human, yet they are not. And herein lies the mystery. What transpires within that mind as it observes you in stillness? What does a horse think when it beholds you? Does it recognize? Does it judge? Or does it merely feel, as if sensing something your own consciousness has long forgotten? Each breath, each flick of an ear, is a word in an ancient tongue, a language born before speech, when instinct reigned as the purest form of wisdom. Today, you will learn to hear this language, and once you do, you will never look upon a horse in the same way again. For what separates the equine mind from ours is not inferiority, but specialization. While we evolved to manipulate the world with hands and words, they evolved to sense it with a depth we can scarcely imagine. Stay until the end, for I shall reveal a hidden facet of equine consciousness that will profoundly alter our understanding of these magnificent animals. Most people believe horses to be simple creatures, kind-hearted, yes, but driven solely by reflex and conditioning, as if they were obedience machines, programmed to run, pull, and serve. This notion is a profound error, a vestige of centuries past when man viewed the animal merely as a source of labor. For generations, we treated horses as living tools, underestimating what transpired behind those watchful eyes. But this perspective is crumbling under the weight of the latest scientific discoveries. The truth is, the horse is no servant. It is a survivor of 40 million years of refined adaptation. Its mind is an instrument of exquisite precision, a living radar that senses pressures, emotions, silences, and intentions before they become visible. The horse does not merely react, it interprets. It does not merely remember, it associates, feels, and anticipates patterns invisible to the human eye. Its perception pierces through layers our verbal consciousness does not even detect. And neuroscience is finally beginning to prove what ancient shepherds and warriors already intuited, that the horse is an emotional mirror and simultaneously an independent mind, shaped by nature to read the unseen. When you approach it, you are not merely being observed. You are being interpreted on levels that transcend sight. Does your heart beat faster? It perceives it. Does your breath become irregular? It registers it. Do you attempt to mask your fear behind a smile? It has already sensed the truth. What we are now discovering is that equine intelligence does not function like ours, and this does not make it lesser, merely different, profoundly so. Cast your mind back a few million years. The ancestor of the horse was small, dog-sized. Living on open grasslands with no trees for cover, it learned to survive not by strength, but by vigilance. While predators hunted in coordinated packs, the horse survived in watchful herds, where each member was a living sensor. Every sound, every shadow, every shift in the wind could spell death. Thus was born its mind, an architecture forged of perception, where constant attention was the difference between survival and extinction. Modern science has found that the horse's brain, though half the size of a human's, possesses vastly developed areas for sensory input and social memory. It can distinguish specific human faces, retain individual voices for years, and associate these memories with the emotional state of their originators. In controlled experiments, horses recognize photographs of absent caregivers and react with altered heart rates, as if reliving the emotion of the original encounter. They don't merely recall events, they re-experience the sensations tied to each memory. Past experience is not a dead archive, it is emotional present. And when a horse fixes its gaze upon you, complex processing is occurring in real time. It is reading your body's posture, the cadence of your breath, the minute vibrations your skin emits when you are tense or serene. Your body language speaks louder than any words. In seconds, it knows whether you represent threat or refuge. This reading is not learned, it is instinctive, the outcome of millennia where correctly interpreting a predator meant surviving another day. Its brain has been sculpted by natural selection to detect incongruities between what you say and what you feel. This is why lying to a horse is impossible. You can force a smile, but if your nervous system is on high alert, it will notice. You can speak gentle words, but if your muscle tension contradicts your voice, it will trust the body, not the words. The horse lives in a world where emotional truth is the only valid currency, and this is the first great secret of the equine mind. While they don't process abstract concepts as we do, horses process emotional states with an acuity that would render many human psychologists amateurish. Observe a horse grazing. Even at rest, nothing about it is inattentive. Its ears pivot like independent radars, one capturing the distant snap of a breaking twig, the other monitoring the wind's whisper behind its body. It's as if the entire world is a sensory panel that never powers down, a consciousness distributed throughout its environment. Each ear can independently swivel up to 180 degrees, creating a three-dimensional auditory perception that we, with our fixed ears, can scarcely fathom. They don't merely hear where a sound originates, but interpret its distance, approach velocity, and probable source. Their vast lateral eyes capture nearly 350 degrees of vision. This means without moving its head, it perceives almost everything around it, save for two critical blind spots, one directly in front of its muzzle and another just behind its tail. These blind spots are the genesis of many frights and accidents, because the horse reacts before it comprehends. To them, that which is unseen may well be predator. This is precisely why you should never approach directly from the front or rear, always from the side, where it can perceive and process your presence without triggering its survival alarm. Yet, there is profound beauty in this constant vigilance. It is living testament that the equine mind is not distracted. It is devoted to existence. Every second is an act of total presence. While we humans often live adrift in ruminations of past and future, the horse inhabits the now with an intensity that meditation masters strive for decades to achieve. Its mind does not wander. It is perpetually here, always alert, invariably tethered to the present moment. And therein lies a form of wisdom our boisterous civilization has forgotten. A horse's color perception is dichromatic. It distinguishes shades of blue and yellow, but red appears to them as a dull gray or brown. Consequently, what to us is a vibrant red fence might be to them merely a shadow without defined contour. When it hesitates before a colored obstacle, it is not stubbornness or irrational fear. It is visual calculation. It is the brain attempting to process incomplete information about something that could prove perilous. It requires time to turn its head, align both eyes, and engage the small binocular field of vision that enables distance and depth assessment. And yet, there's something more astonishing: memory. Scientific studies demonstrate that a horse can recall a specific task, person, or location for over 5 years. Some researchers suggest that certain emotionally intense memories may persist a lifetime. It remembers who treated it kindly and also who harmed it. In its mind, kindness and danger are not abstract notions. They are electrical imprints etched into neural experience. This is why a gentle touch is repeated like a comforting melody. Every gesture leaves an impression. And the horse reproduces this emotional memory whenever it re-encounters the person or situation. But here lies the seldom noticed contrast. The same mind that preserves the memory of trust also harbors trauma. It is a nervous system existing on the delicate precipice between vigilance and serenity. A horse that has been mistreated may carry this imprint for years, reacting with disproportionate fear to stimuli that other horses would ignore. It is not vengeance, nor is it spite. It is pure neurobiology. The brain has registered that a particular situation, sound, or gesture preceded pain or terror, and now it automatically triggers the fight or flight response whenever similar patterns are detected. When the horse startles, it is not a conscious choice. It is the limbic brain, the evolutionarily ancient core of emotions, seizing control in milliseconds. The amygdala, responsible for the fight or flight reaction, ignites like a neural lightning strike. The body floods with adrenaline in an instantaneous surge. Respiration quickens, priming muscles for explosive action. Pupils dilate to capture more light and visual information. The heart pounds like a war drum, pumping blood to the legs. And before reason can intercede, before the prefrontal cortex can assess the situation, the horse has already bolted. To us, this may seem irrational, exaggerated, even irritating. But to the horse, it is evolutionary perfection refined over eons. It is the instinct that kept its ancestors alive when a moment's hesitation meant being devoured. The conflict arises when humans interpret this instinct as deliberate disobedience. They attempt to dominate fear with force, with punishment, with aggressive control, and without realizing it, they become precisely the threat the horse was trying to evade. Violence confirms that there was indeed cause for fear. The vicious cycle closes, and trust is shattered, perhaps irrevocably. This is where the human-equine relationship enters a crisis, because the equine mind does not respond to imposition, but to coherence. She needs a calm leader, not a domineering victor, a steady presence, not brute force. A horse trusts one who controls their own fear, who remains serene when chaos reigns all around. and that is the most honest mirror it offers humanity. When you ride, you are not merely commanding an animal. You are being tested on your self-mastery, on your capacity to remain centered under duress. Now, what truly transforms everything is grasping this. A horse's mind operates as an emotional trust system. Every interaction is an unconscious calculus of safety. When you approach, it reads not what you do, but what you feel. And it responds not to the force of your gesture, but to the truth of your inner state. You may feign calmness, but if your heart races, your breath becomes shallow, and your muscles tense, the horse detects the incongruence. And incongruence signifies potential danger, as predators, too, attempt to conceal their intentions. In neurobiological terms, this is empathy operating in real time. Studies reveal that when a nervous human approaches, the horse's heart rate elevates instantaneously, even without physical contact. When the human takes a deep, conscious breath and calms themselves, the horse's heart rate decelerates too, as if two nervous systems have entered into resonance. Their heartbeats align in an invisible physiological dance, as if two bodies shared the same subtle electromagnetic field. This synchronization is not a poetic metaphor. It is a phenomenon measurable in a laboratory. It is the scientific underpinning of equine therapy and the emotional healing so many individuals describe. A horse's true intelligence lies not in solving puzzles or manipulating tools. It resides in sensing the world with extraordinary depth, in processing emotional and social information with a speed and precision that surpasses many human capabilities. It is a form of silent wisdom where emotion, memory, and instinct operate in perfect harmony. The horse does not ruminate on what it feels. It simply inhabits the feeling with total presence. And when you connect with it without demands, without emotional artifice, without attempting to force submission, something magical transpires. Now you know. Within that gaze lies an entire universe of refined perception. The horse thinks with its body, feels with its skin, and communicates through silence. He doesn't measure the world in words or abstract concepts, but in subtle vibrations, unvoiced intentions, and emotional memories he carries like internal maps. And if there is a singular key to this ancient mind, it is called trust. Not blind trust, but trust earned through consistency, presence, and emotional honesty. The next time you approach a horse, don't just bring your voice or your hands. Bring your entire presence, your unfiltered truth. Breathe consciously. Quiet your internal dialogue. Let him read you. He will do so anyway. But if you are mindful of the process, the encounter becomes something more profound. A mirror between species. A reminder that thinking isn't always the highest form of intelligence. Sometimes true wisdom lies in feeling with total presence. Share this video if it resonated with you, and subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of understanding these silent masters that evolution has gifted us.